There's one other exercise I'd like to go over with you before we complete. And this is the neurological levels. This is based on this model developed by Robert Dilts. He adapted that from Gregory Bateson's work. And this is a very useful model and applied in so many different contexts and situations. It's really a model of learning, of change, a model of communication even. And it's a model that assists very much with developing alignment and congruency. So this model, in many respects, it looks like it's a natural hierarchy, but in actual fact, every different level operates within each level as well. So it's presented as a hierarchy just for, I guess, ease of teaching and sharing and helping us talk about it. But really understanding that they're all connected and interconnected is really important and valuable. What you might notice here too is that changing something on a lower level, for example, environment, would not necessarily change something on these upper levels, but changing something at the level of purpose or identity has more impact on all the other levels beneath it. So sometimes when we have a problem and we address it in the context of an environment, it may or may not easily solve that problem. But if we address the problem in terms of belief and value, then we're more likely to have a resolution. So for example, if people are working in an office space which is really cramped and they're starting to feel stressed, so giving everybody their own space, allowing them to have their own desk, might go a long way to resolving that stress. So you can address that type of problem at the environment level by changing the environment, but not necessarily by changing these other things. Although you probably might try, but really there are some things that lend themselves, some solutions lend themselves to the level on which the problem is actually occurring. So generally, to bring about change, it's important, valuable to work at one level above where the problem is actually happening, and just really understanding that however, when we change things at a higher level, you'd always affect the lower level, but not necessarily vice versa. So the exercise or this model is used to help, can be helped, say it started again, process to create alignment. This process can help create alignment and congruence, and it can help you create a stronger sense of who you are. So we're talking in the context of identity, and identity is this level up here, and who we want to be and how we want to be and move through the world. So just moving up through the levels, we have the level of environment at the bottom here, and this is the where and when a particular behaviour or anything occurs, what is the environment that it occurs in. And then we look at what behaviour occurs in that environment, and the behaviour here relates to what you say as well as what you do. And that addresses the question of what's going on. Capability is the next one going up, and this is about the how. It's about the skills or the mental strategies that I might use to achieve a particular outcome, and it addresses the question how. And above that are beliefs and values, and this addresses the question why. Why do I do, or why do I want to do a particular thing? This is a level of motivation. Why is it important to me to have a loving relationship or have a relationship? What does that give me? And the answer might be love or connection and so on. And so you identify values at this level. And there are also beliefs that influence how I would be in a relationship or what type of relationship I might have. A belief might be I deserve a loving relationship, for example, and that would then flow back down into how I would move through the world and how I would look for a loving relationship. Skills I might need would be skills of caring and listening and sharing. And what can I do is, and what action can I take is to actually show that I love someone, might be to actually do something for somebody, to look after them and to nurture and care for them. And that might be the action that I do, and the environment might be in the context of my home, for example, down here. And then going up above the level of beliefs and values is the who. This is identity. What is my sense of self? In the context of this relationship, I would say I'm a lover, a partner, could be a mother. And so the sense of identity I have for myself is I am a loving partner. And notice again, I use those I am words. And that really, when I say I am a loving person, that really influences what type of beliefs and values I hold, and then all the way down how I move through the world to express that sense of identity of who I am. And then when I go another level up, is purpose. What purpose does this fulfill for me to do this? In different models, people will sometimes describe this level here in different ways. It might be a spiritual connection, in terms of connection to spirit, in terms of a mission, or even in terms of community and connecting to other people and the wider system outside of me. So what purpose does this fulfill for me to do this? If I'm saying that I'm a loving mother, the purpose it fulfills for me is, being, maybe contributing, providing a legacy by doing that, teaching, showing my children perhaps how to be loving parents as well. And then that would be a legacy, I believe, in terms of how then they would move through the world and how that would flow on to grandchildren and people in the wider community as well. I have a belief, here comes a belief, that when people are loving to themselves and loving to others, then our world will be a better place, and that's the purpose that this fulfills for me. So you can see neurological levels you can address an issue or define it really at any of these different levels. What I'd like to do with you all is, in a moment, I'm just going to do an exercise with you and take you through these levels, and I'm going to ask you to close your eyes and just listen to what I'm going to say, and I'll lead you through this. And what we're going to do is we're going to move from environment all the way up to purpose. And at each step, what I really want you to do and like you to do, if you would, is just notice what you notice at each level. Just be observant, and you might notice that there might be resources and so on, that different insights that you might get as you go all the way up to purpose, and the resources you might access, learnings you might get, and all those things you can store unconsciously for you to be able to access whenever you need them. As we move all the way down this the levels again, you'll notice how those resources and those learnings will, I guess, expand the sense of understanding and insight of who you are, how you, why you do things, how you can do them, what you can do, and how it will influence and change your environment as well. So we're going to do this, and there's different ways of doing this exercise, but this is one way. And what I'd like you to do, please, if you would, is just go ahead and close your eyes for a moment or two. And just think about an area of your life that you'd like some clarity on in terms of who you are and your sense of identity. Just think about that aspect of your life. And by the way, this can be something really positive as well as something where you're not feeling so resourceful at the moment. So just go ahead and think of that aspect and imagine yourself there. Just allow yourself to mentally step into that environment. Go ahead and associate to that you in that environment. Allow yourself to see what you see, hear what you hear, and feel what you feel, as if you're there in that environment. And then just notice. Take stock. What's going on in that environment? The where and the when. And as you notice that, just allow your mind to shift and move to the behaviours in that environment. What are you saying? What are you doing? How are you behaving? Notice how it feels as you step into that behaviour in that environment. And in your mind, just take yourself now into that area of capabilities. That area where you do what you do. How do you do it? Just notice what you're capable of. Your skills, competency, knowledge that you have. Notice, just be aware of all of that now. Then move your awareness to values and beliefs above that aspect of yourself. What do you believe about what you're doing and how you're doing it? What do you believe about that? What do you value about that? What do you believe to be true? What's important to you about how you're doing and what you're doing in the environment? What's true about this for you? Is it right or wrong, good or bad? It might be about boundaries, or your self-esteem and self-worth. How do you feel about yourself? Just notice. And as you notice that, move yourself in your mind to that next level up, that level of identity. Who are you in that moment? What's your sense of self? When you're describing yourself, you say, I am that. Notice that. Is it solid? Is it indifferent? What's your sense of self? And now in your mind, let's move to a higher plane. Universal purpose. A space outside of yourself and beyond you. What purpose does this fulfill for you right now? Being that identity, for what purpose? No judgment. In this space where nothing is, yet everything is. Beyond you, outside of you. And in this space, when you're at a core, find alignment and congruency. Find out your essence. Get in touch with the you that's beyond you. Without a conscious need to know, just allow your unconscious mind to access learning and understanding in this space, which is beyond all that is. Just go ahead and access that learning, that understanding, those resources. And then just trust as you start to move back that your unconscious mind will simply store all those learnings and allow them to be accessible whenever you need them. You may have a strong sense of that purpose. As you look out through the eyes of purpose, ears, hear what you hear, feel what you feel, have a real sense, strong sense of purpose. And with that strong sense of purpose, that deep sense of purpose and commitment to something beyond you, step back now, move back to identity. And just notice how that sense of identity has shifted. More expansive, more specific. Just have a sense of that shift in who you are. And trust all those learnings and resources to really reflect on who you are and to inform who you are as you move back and take all those learnings back with you to that level of belief and values. And notice how they've changed. What do you believe now to be true about who you are? Notice the truths, the values. And trust your unconscious mind to help you build and bring all those resources now about who you are and what you value and why you're doing what you do back into the area of capability. Notice what capabilities you have right now. That's right. Notice how all that changes and empowers and expands your sense of capability and understanding of the skills that you need and how you can do what you can do. Bring all of that back with you to the level of behaviour. Notice how what you do and say is now aligned totally with your capability and your beliefs and who you are and your sense of purpose. And as you do, move back again to the level of environment. And notice how this has shifted now. Experience what it's like to have more alignment with who you are, why you do what you do, how you do what you do, and what you do in this particular environment. And trust your unconscious mind to store all that learning and understanding exactly where you need it, so that you can access it whenever you need to have it and be just there available for you at any time. Okay, so what I'd like you to do is come back into here and now and bring that new sense of identity, that new sense with you, and slowly reorientate. Just bring yourself back into the present. Reorientate where you are with your fingers and toes. You can stand up, shake the butt a little bit, open your eyes if they're closed. Brilliant. So these neurological levels, this exercise is really just a very simple, straightforward process, very powerful. Sometimes the simple things are the most powerful and impactful things, and this is a brilliant exercise that you can do whenever you're feeling a little bit conflicted about anything, really, to just reevaluate and assess where you're at and help you get more alignment and congruency. So identity is made up of quite a few different things, and you can work really on any part, and NLP certainly can help you work in any of those particular areas that you like. So we're sort of ending our time together. I think it's really important to just be who you are. Everyone else is taken. And this is a lovely quote. I think when your core values and self-concept are in harmony with your daily actions and behaviours, that is a definition of success. Living each day as it comes, being true to who you are, slowly stripping away all those things that are stopping you from being the person that's already there, and which is a holistic, loving, centered individual and person. So I wish you help. I think it would be a great thing for you guys to listen to this if you need to again, and contact me if you would like further information or even information about the certification programs or the different programs that I run. A lot of these exercises and certainly the theory and the understanding behind all of that is something that is just woven in and through all the work that I do.